Hey guys, welcome back to Collectible Motorcar of Atlanta. Today we've got something really cool that we're doing. We just bought this awesome 1966 Chevrolet Chevelle SS. It is a real SS, it's a 138 VIN. When we got the car, it was a little dated, had some old valve covers, had a blue air intake. So we decided to do some modifications, get rid of some of this fake A-line hosing here. We put some upgraded valve covers on it. The car hadn't ran in a couple of years, or not much at least. He didn't really drive the car too much. It came out of a collection that had about 8 cars in it. Put a new Holley 850 carburetor on it. Just doing a couple of things to clean it up, putting electric fans on it, doing a couple of things to make the engine bay look a little better. Carson can probably explain a little bit more on what he's done to it. We also put a little bit better steering wheel. I had one of them old school billet steering wheels that looked hideous, so we put just super tacky. We just put a 3-spoke steering wheel in there, but I'll hand this over to Carson, let him kind of explain a little bit more detail of what we've done to the car.
Sure, thank you, Chris. So as Chris said, we have new valve covers on here, fresh valve cover gaskets, tidied up the wires. Spark plug wires were in great shape, so kept those, but fresh spark plugs, all retained in these nice captive holders down there. Fresh fuel line, fresh fuel filter, brand new battery. As Chris mentioned, new 800 CFM Holley carb on there. We actually just fired it up for the first time, runs excellent. Fresh tune-up, belts are new. This car is already in super great shape. We're just trying to do a few things to take it to the next level. Something we see a lot is people not including fan shrouds on the radiators. Not only does that hurt cooling, but it's also a safety hazard. And so we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna go to nice electric fans, more horsepower, better cooling, just really all around better setup. And this car is already equipped with an electric fuel pump. So even if it sits for a month, you aren't using it, just turn the key, primes, fires right up. So once this car is done, it's gonna be really a great driver, something you could actually enjoy and put some miles on. You wanna come in here and get a shot of the dash, Justin?
We mentioned what the cubic inches were on the motor and what.
Yeah, so this is actually a 502, and I can say I just had the valve covers off on this motor, and it's immaculate. It looks like it's not even broke in. And so you can check out the digital gauges in there, super sweet. Manual transmission, the only way to go. Yep, that's the brand new steering wheel right there we just mounted.
We've got the old one over here, don't we?
Yeah, Chris, go ahead and show them that old wheel we got rid of.
It's definitely dated.
Yeah, we didn't want that in there. So brand new steering wheel for you guys. But we just had it fired up. We're gonna swap out a few more hoses and lines and take it for its first test drive here shortly.
Hey, welcome back to Collectible Motorcar of Atlanta. Today, we're back working on the 66 Chevelle. We're doing a couple other things to the car. I'm gonna let Carson kind of speak on that on more detail. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to Carson.
Hey guys, we've been doing a lot of work to this car here. A lot of things maintenance related to begin with. Got new fuel lines on here, new fuel filter, brand new carb. So the last thing we want to do is get any trash in the carb. So everything's good there. Brand new spark plugs. Whenever you're tuning, that's what we're going to be talking about today, tuning the carburetor. It's always good to have a fresh set of plugs. That's one of the things we go off of after running it, is the color of the plugs to get an idea of how things are running. So what we're going to be doing today is setting the idle mixture screws. Now on this particular Holley carb, it's got 4 idle mixture screws. You can see one here, and there's one on each corner of the carburetor. So what we're going to be doing here is we have the vacuum gauge hooked up, and we're going to be adjusting each screw in slight increments, about a quarter, eighth turn at a time, to get a peak vacuum reading. We want to see, at least in the yellow, preferably in the green. Every engine's slightly different, but that's what we're going to do here. So we're going to go ahead and get the car started, get it warmed up, and get the choke off. And once the car's got some heat in it, then we're ready to start tuning. Okay guys, I know it's kind of hard to see on camera here, especially with the engine going. Definitely too loud to be able to hear what I'm saying, but basically we went around, tuned each screw, tweaked it just a little bit, and we ended up with just about 15 inches of vacuum on here. Every engine's going to be different depending on the camshaft, the displacement, compression, I mean tons of variables, but 15 inches is a good amount of vacuum. And so we can say that the idle mixture is pretty good now. When your idle mixture is off, you can have all kinds of issues with long-term idling. You can be fouling plugs, You can have getting loaded up from being too rich. You'll idle for 30 seconds and it starts puttering out. But that seems pretty good now. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be checking the timing in the next video. And once the timing's done, we're ready for our test drive and see how this thing runs. I'm sure it'll be pretty quick. Okay, so we just got a chance to check our timing where it was before, and we were actually at 25 degrees at idle and 45 degrees at 3,000 RPM, which is way too advanced for this motor, or really most any motor. So I've loosened the distributor, and as you can see, now it can turn just a little bit, and it was turned way back over here. Just visually, it looked pretty far advanced. So we'll turn it back to about here, and then we'll get Chris to go fire it up. And then the first thing that we'll do is look for about 10 degrees timing at idle, which is about 650 RPM. And then we're gonna rev it up to our 4 grand and shoot for that about 32 degrees. So once again, it's gonna get loud, but we'll go ahead and show you guys the process.
I also mentioned that the plugs that we pulled out, we found them, they were extremely rich.
Yeah, they were really rich. And
that could be a mixture of the old carburetor that was on there and us messing with it. And
yeah.
timing could have had an issue with it.
For sure. So we'll get dialed in. We're gonna go for a test drive, and once we do a test drive, we can read our fresh plugs and see what we got.
But I'll go on and hop in and get it started, and we'll see what it's doing at idle.
So yeah, we're at between 11, 12-ish degrees.
Okay.
Now let me get that wrench and we'll tighten down the distributor.
Yeah, don't forget to not tighten down your distributor, because any settings that you have made, if you forget to do that,
oh yeah, that would be a disaster.
It will turn and go back out of timing. What are you looking for?
Where did I set the wrench down? Never fails. You have a tool in your hand and it evaporates.
And these are all important things to do to a motor like this to make sure that it runs at, to the right performance. If your timing's off or if your carburetor's not tuned right, it's definitely going to affect the performance, and you're not going to get all the power out of the motor that you could get.
And even certain cases, you could even have engine damage, from having too much timing in it, too much advance.
Yeah, even running too lean, it'll burn it up, and even running it too fat, too rich will also hurt a motor too. So you definitely want to be able to, keep, one thing that you can look at is like looking at the plugs, pulling them out. You can tell by looking at a plug if it's running rich or if it's running lean. Those are usually some good signs. Sometimes just by hearing the motor, you can tell that it's not happy. But definitely want to make sure that you're doing these things to your cars to make sure that they're running right and that you're not damaging anything.
So yeah, Chris, it's time for the moment of truth. We're going to get her out on the road and see how fast she is.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys, we got the Chevelle out on the road here. First thing you notice, we got a brand new 3-spoke steering wheel on here. It's got nice finger knurling on the back, leather wrapped, super modern steering wheel. Sitting behind that is a sweet Dakota digital gauges. So that way you got a good readout, no faded old needles that don't work. You can keep an eye on all your temperatures. A water temp, still doing good. I don't even think the fans have had to kick on yet. That Be Cool radiator is so thick, it cools great. This thing's got a 4-speed manual. That's the only way to go in my opinion. Super fun to drive. This thing really does get down. It's very quick. I daily drive a Corvette and this is actually very quick to me. So light just turned green. We'll show you guys. We got a brand new set of sticky hand hooks on here. They aren't warm yet, but they still hook pretty good. That was over 60 right there, guys. This thing really does get down. Brakes feel tight, really good. Voltage is right where it should be. We just threw some fresh premium in here. Fuel gauge reads good. Our oil pressure is healthy. Under load, we got, let's see here, 60 pounds at 3,000 RPM. This motor's only got 600 miles on it, not even, so it's really not even broken in. And with the torque at the big block, you don't have to be as picky on your gears. Like that there, I was just pulling from 1500 in third gear, and you can wind that all the way up to 70 plus. So drivability's great. This is really a great car to drive, guys. Steering's tight, suspension's tight, no squeaks and rattles. You can see your air breather through the cowl hood right there. Really awesome car. All right, guys, we've been out driving around. Highest temperature we've seen was about 198. Fans came on, dropped temp back down. Right now we're back down to 190 or so. Running cool. Even now that it's warmed up, the oil at idle, we still have 35 PSI, so that's excellent. But yeah, guys, this is just a really fun car to drive. We're about to get another acceleration clip right here. Stick shift's the only way to go, in my opinion. So fun. Oh, we missed the light right here. And with the 4-speed, you actually get the enough gear reduction that you can cruise on the highway, run 70, not turning too many RPMs. Get another little acceleration. Now that the tires have some heat in them, they actually hook really good. Even with 460 horse, it's holding it all, putting it to the ground. All right, we can go here real quick. So just like that, guys, that was 60 miles an hour. Super quick car. I mean, you can beat a lot of new cars in this thing even. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. We're gonna get it back, put it up on the lift, show you guys the bottom of it, and check it out on our website, collectiblemotorcar.com.
All right, guys, we're under the 66 Chevelle. Carson left early, but we went ahead and had Carson put on some new shocks here. That was one of the last pieces to this puzzle, was to go ahead and put some new shocks. We noticed the rear shocks were some old air shocks, and they were just a little worn out. So we went ahead and went down to O'Reilly's and bought a set of nice Monroe shocks and went ahead and threw those on there. So that was one of the last missing pieces of this puzzle, was to throw that on there. But with that, you know, we basically took this 66 Chevelle from early 2000s to 2020s and made it more modern and definitely made it a lot more cool. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and we'll do a little recap. We'll throw some B-roll in there and show you kind of like a recap of everything we did to the car. And we'll just kind of go from there. And we appreciate you guys checking in. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. We're all the time putting out new content. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, definitely hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, guys.